There's a quiet moment that many people over 60 experience but rarely talk about. You walk into a room and suddenly you pause. You try to remember why you came there. A name sits just out of reach. A word feels like it's hiding behind a locked door in your mind. And for a split second, a question appears. Is this normal? Or is this the beginning of something more serious? Now, let me ask you something. Be honest with yourself. Have you noticed your memory changing over time? Maybe forgetting small details, misplacing things, or struggling to recall names that used to come instantly? Tell me in the comments, what's one memory habit you've noticed changing recently? Because here's the truth. Memory decline isn't always sudden. It's often gradual, subtle, and deeply connected to something most people overlook. What you eat every single day. And among all foods, there's one category that researchers consistently return to when studying brain health and aging. Fruits. Not expensive supplements, not miracle pills, just simple, natural fruits backed by real science that can support memory, protect brain cells, and even slow age-related cognitive decline. And today, we're going to explore 5 of the most powerful fruits that have been linked to better brain function, sharper memory, and long-term cognitive protection after the age of 60. But as we go through them, I want you to keep one thought in mind. This isn't about adding random foods to your diet. It's about understanding how your brain works and feeding it what it truly needs. Because your brain, even at 60, 70 or beyond, is still capable of change. It's still capable of growth. And in many cases, it's still capable of healing. Let's start with something small but incredibly powerful. Blueberries. At first glance, they don't look like much. Tiny, soft, and often overlooked. But inside these small berries is a compound called anthocyanins, natural antioxidants that give blueberries their deep blue color. Now here's where it gets interesting. Studies from institutions like Harvard Medical School have shown that anthocyanins can cross the blood-brain barrier. That's important because it means these compounds don't just stay in your bloodstream, they actually reach your brain cells directly. Once there, they begin to reduce oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is one of the biggest contributors to brain aging. Over time, your brain is constantly exposed to damage from free radicals, unstable molecules that slowly degrade cells, including neurons. This damage can affect memory, learning, and even emotional stability. Blueberries help counter this process. In one long-term study, older adults who regularly consumed blueberries showed slower rates of cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. Not overnight results, not dramatic transformations, but something more important, consistent protection over time. Think about that for a moment. What if the difference between sharper memory and gradual decline isn't one big decision, but small daily habits like this? Now, let me ask you, do you currently eat blueberries regularly? Or have you never really considered them part of your routine? Because sometimes the most powerful changes are the simplest ones. Now, let's move to something more familiar. Apples. There's a reason you've heard the phrase, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." It's not just tradition, it's rooted in science. Apples contain a powerful antioxidant called quercetin. This compound plays a key role in protecting brain cells from inflammation and oxidative damage. But here's something many people don't know. The highest concentration of quercetin is found in the skin of the apple. That means when you peel an apple, you're actually removing one of its most valuable brain protective components. Quercetin has been studied for its neuroprotective effects, especially in aging populations. It helps reduce inflammation in the brain, a major factor in conditions like Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. But apples do something else as well. They help regulate blood sugar, and that matters more than most people realize. Your brain relies heavily on glucose for energy, but when blood sugar levels spike and crash repeatedly, it can lead to energy instability in the brain, affecting focus, clarity, and memory. Apples provide a steady release of natural sugars, combined with fiber that slows absorption. So instead of spikes, you get balance. And balance is exactly what the aging brain needs. Now think about your daily routine. How often do you choose processed snacks over something simple like an apple? And what might happen if you made that one small switch? Let's continue. The third fruit is one that has been studied extensively for brain health: avocados. Yes, technically a fruit, and one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat. Avocados are rich in healthy monounsaturated fats. These fats support blood flow, especially to the brain. Now here's why that matters. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy, and it depends on a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through blood flow. As we age, circulation can become less efficient. Blood vessels may stiffen, flow may slow down, and when that happens, the brain doesn't get what it needs. This can lead to slower thinking, reduced focus, and memory lapses. Avocados help improve this. They support vascular health, helping blood vessels remain flexible and efficient. They also contain vitamin E, a nutrient linked to reduced cognitive decline in older adults. In fact, research published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease suggests that higher intake of vitamin E is associated with better cognitive performance in aging populations. So, when you eat an avocado, you're not just feeding your body, you're supporting your brain's entire delivery system. Let me pause here and ask you something. When you think about brain food, what comes to mind first? Is it something complicated or something simple like this? Because sometimes the answer isn't hidden, it's just ignored. Now let's talk about something sweeter: oranges. Bright, refreshing, and packed with vitamin C. But vitamin C isn't just for your immune system. It plays a critical role in brain function. Vitamin C is involved in the production of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers that allow brain cells to communicate. Without proper communication, memory suffers, focus declines, clarity fades. But that's not all. Vitamin C is also a powerful antioxidant. It helps protect the brain from oxidative stress and inflammation, two major drivers of cognitive decline. In fact, low levels of vitamin C have been linked to impaired memory and slower information processing. One orange a day can provide nearly all the vitamin C your body needs. Think about that. Such a simple habit with such a powerful impact. Now imagine combining that with everything we've discussed so far. Blueberries, apples, avocados, oranges. Individually, they're helpful. Together, they become a strategy. And that brings us to the final fruit: Perhaps the most underestimated of all. Walnuts. Yes, again, technically classified as a fruit, specifically a seed, and one that looks, interestingly, like the human brain. But beyond appearance, walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly ALA, which has been linked to improved brain health. Omega-3s play a crucial role in maintaining the structure of brain cells. They support communication between neurons. They reduce inflammation. And they've been studied extensively for their potential role in slowing cognitive decline. In one study published in the journal Nutrients, older adults who consumed walnuts regularly showed improvements in memory and cognitive function compared to those who did not. But here's the deeper point. All of these fruits share something in common. They don't boost your brain overnight. They don't act like stimulants. They don't create instant results. Instead, they protect. They support. They strengthen your brain slowly, consistently, over time. And that's what real brain health looks like. Not quick fixes, but long-term resilience. Now let me ask you something important. If you knew that small daily choices could protect your memory for the next 10, 20, even 30 years, would you start today? Or would you wait? Because here's the reality. Most people don't notice the effects of their choices immediately. But years later, those choices become visible. In how clearly they think, in how easily they remember, in how confidently they live. And perhaps the most powerful part of all this is that it's never too late to start. Your brain is not fixed. It's adaptable, responsive, alive, even now. So, as you think about your own habits, your daily routine, your meals, ask yourself one simple question. Am I feeding my brain or just filling my stomach? And if you found even one insight in this video valuable, share your thoughts below. Which of these fruits are you already eating? Which ones will you start adding to your routine? Because sometimes a conversation can be the beginning of a change. And sometimes that change can protect something as precious as your memory. Take care of your brain, and it will take care of you.